What's Dan Bigger had to do to convince you of his fitness?
Trained today. He trained today, yeah.
Was that an extensive physical workout? Or?
Just a normal training session. Look, he was a little bit sore yesterday. He had to get through today's training. I can promise you there was no gameship involved with Dan Bigger. He's made a miraculous recovery. I mean, the boys were joking, calling him Lazarus and stuff, so he's taken that mantle now off Jamie Roberts. So he got through training today, looked sharp. So we fed the worst after the game straight to the medics who thought that the injury was a 3 to 5 week injury, and but the scan came back clear, and with the scan coming back clear, he's worked really hard since the game in terms of his recovery and icing it and stuff, and he's made a pretty miraculous recovery, really.
Once that decision had been made, were there any other particular debates in the selection?
Yeah, there was. Did we make some changes? Particularly with the 6-day turnaround up front, and we discussed that. But we felt that we hadn't started well in that first 20 minutes, and we got back in the game. So there's an opportunity in terms of those players that started the game last weekend to make sure they go and start well this weekend. And we had a good impact off the bench, and we could have started some of those players coming off the bench with some of their experience as well. But we felt when we discussed it, there was a chance in terms of that team that started getting another chance to go and potentially put things right, in particular the way that we start the game.
Big match for Jonathan Davis, celebrating his half-century caps.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that combination and midfield partnership's been pretty special for us over a number of years, and so it's a great achievement for him to have done that. He comes back, and I thought he showed a couple of nice touches last week, particularly just a couple of nice little kicks through that put Ireland on the back foot, put them under a bit of pressure, and having that left foot as an option for us is good, and so it's a great reward for him in terms of reaching that milestone.
Scotland happy to have the roof closed?
Apparently so, yeah. So which is great. So so it means that the weather's not going to come into play. The atmosphere should be brilliant, and with a sellout crowd, and we're excited about it. And by the looks of it, both teams will go out and play some rugby.
And Scotland making just the one enforced change, was that what you expected?
It was. We listened yesterday that we expected them to name the same side that played last week, and probably from Vern's point of view, a little bit like us, felt that they weren't too far away, and wanted to continue with keeping that team together and see if that they could improve from their performance last week against England.
You've never lost to Scotland, Warren. What do you put that down to, and how confident are you?
I have lost to Scotland when I was coaching Ireland, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's we've had some close encounters. A couple of times we got out of jail, and you can't rest on your laurels in terms of having had that record. It's we'd like to continue it for as long as we possibly can. They as a side, they don't look too far away, and I think one of the things that you come in with a new team is that, and it looks like Vern has done this. You don't always concentrate on playing rugby. You become a difficult team to beat, and they look like they're a tough team to beat at the moment. If you're a tough team to beat, then you get a bounce of the ball, a couple of decisions, a couple of lucky things, and you start winning games. So I don't think Scotland are too far away. There seems to be a lot of confidence coming out of their camp, and there was a lot of confidence before last week's game, and even though they've lost, I don't think it would have dented their enthusiasm or confidence potentially too much.
Sam, what are your thoughts on the Scottish challenge?
Similar to Warren said, I think they've got quite a settled looking team now, and looking across their 15 and 22 that they had now and during the World Cup, some really good ball carriers, some good ball players, and they look like a good unit. I think their back row operates really well from what I'm going to look at. think they've got a good line out. A lot of movement in their line out. I think the Gray brothers have been doing really well there and settled down nicely together. Just like Warburton, I think they're going to be an extremely tough team to beat, and that's always been the case when we played Scotland. It's never been a runaway match. It's always been a real tough encounter. So expecting the same this Saturday as well.
And personally, head to head with Scarlet's John Barclay, both of you more often 7 but playing at 6.
John Barclay, someone I've rated highly for a long time, and he's been playing brilliantly with the Scarlets, and he teams up really well with James Davis. I would have had him in the Scotland setup. I remember he was in there going back when I first come through. He was starting 7th, and then I was always impressed with him. And for me, he's been as a threat and as a number 7, the way he is on the ball. I think he's one of the key players for Scotland over the last few years. I think he's very impressive there. So it doesn't surprise me he's back in the squad. He fully deserves to be back in the Scottish side, and he's definitely, I think, one of the better back row players around. Yeah.
From the players' point of view, the roof issue, how much difference does that make to you out on the pitch?
It's nice to know that both teams want to play a bit of rugby now. So, the pitch is good quality anyway, so whether the roof's open or closed, it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, it's good that they have decided to close the roof. I'm sure it'll be an entertaining game, and probably a few more tries will be scored than there was on the first weekend of Six Nations.
Or you used the word games on the pitch just now. What was your kind of reaction to what Josh said about that?
Oh, I just think the question he was asked was kind of, put him on the spot a little bit. I spoke to Joe afterwards, and he just said, look, he was asked. The question threw him a little bit, and he's made. He couldn't even remember what he had responded with. So, look, we had a good chat about it, and just said in terms of, he said he's very close with Vern Cotter because they've coached together, and even sometimes things that have been said about each other in the press, and he often gets phone calls where they're too wise to speak to each other. So it's probably making sure that as coaches we stick together in terms of not try and allow anyone to put sort of wedges between us, which could easily happen with a wrong comment or a wrong interpretation of something.